All right, let's jump right into this explainer and cackle a financial milestone that honestly feels like climbing Mount Everest for a lot of us. Whether you're starting from absolute zero or you've been putting away a little bit each month but feel like you're just spinning your wheels, reaching your first six figures in savings and investments is widely considered the absolute hardest thing you will ever do in personal finance. But today, we're going to unpack exactly how you can conquer it. The legendary investor Charlie Munger famously put it like this: the first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. That perfectly captures the gritty, brutal reality of starting your wealth building journey. He didn't sugarcoat it, and neither will we. The early days of saving require you to just put your head down, drop your ego, and practice intense delayed gratification. It's a grind for sure, but as Munger advised, you simply have to find a way to get your hands on that first 100 grand, because literally everything changes after that. So here's our game plan to get you to the peak of that mountain. We're going to cover the hardest financial milestone, the magic of compounding, 3 levers to build wealth, where to put your money, and defeating lifestyle creep. Part 1, the hardest financial milestone, the 100K reality. Let's start with a reality check and validate that frustration you might be feeling right now if your accounts just don't seem to be growing. Take a look at this. We've got a real-life Reddit user who recently posted in a financial planning forum. They were saving $1,300 a month, right? And they were hoping to hit $100,000 in 3 years. But the community quickly pointed out that their math just wasn't mathing. To hit that 3-year goal, they'd actually need to stash away over $2,200 a month. In the very beginning of your wealth journey, gravity is working completely against you. You are pushing the car uphill entirely with your own muscle. And this right here proves exactly why it's such a grind. Looking at this data from 4-Pillar Freedom, if you want to reach 100 grand in 5 years, assuming a 5% return, a whopping 86% of that total is composed purely of your own brute force savings. Only 14% comes from investment returns. When your balance is small, your returns are small. There's just no way around it. You have to rely heavily on your own discipline to stash cash. Now, obviously, saving that kind of cash is brutal. And Frankie Finance points out exactly why. 75% of the average American's income is immediately eaten up by just 4 things: housing, transportation, food, and insurance. Before you even have a second to think about your future, 3/4 of your paycheck is already out the door. It makes that initial climb feel unimaginably steep. Section 2, the magic of compounding. Let gravity work for you. Getting through that initial heavy lifting is absolutely crucial, so we can finally flip the script and let gravity work for us instead of against us. Financial expert Nicole Lapin puts it perfectly. That first 100K is the hardest money you will ever make. But mathematically, everything after that gets exponentially easier. Enter the beauty of compound interest. It's that magical tipping point where your money starts generating its own meaningful returns, creating this massive snowball effect that builds on top of itself. This is where that chef's kiss acceleration really kicks in. Let's say you invest $1,000 a month at a 10% historical average return. Going from zero to $100,000 takes over 6 brutal years. But the jump from 100K to 200K, that takes less than 4 years. And if we fast forward, going from $900,000 to $1 million takes just 1 single year. It's the exact same $1,000 monthly contribution, but now the compounding engine is doing all the heavy lifting for you. Basically, once you cross that 100-gram threshold, your portfolio basically gets a part-time job. At a 10% return, your money is generating $10,000 in a single year, and you literally do nothing. You're finally on the right side of the wealth equation. Moving on to Section 3, 3 levers to build wealth. Accelerate your savings. Let's shift gears to the actionable strategy and see how this builds into a concrete framework you can use today to actually reach that magic number. Frankie Finance lays out this awesome 3-lever system. Most folks only pull one of these levers at a time, right? Maybe they try to cut back on lattes or they ask for a raise. But to accelerate to $100,000, you've got to pull all 3 simultaneously. You have to spend less, earn more, and invest. Widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then pour that gap straight into your investments. So how do you actually pull these levers? First up, audit your last 90 days of spending. Most people easily find between $200 and $600 a month in pure waste. Things like subscriptions you never use or random impulse buys. Cut that immediately. Second, think about joining the nearly 40% of Americans who have a side gig. Adding just $1,000 a month in extra income can literally cut your timeline to 100K in half. And finally, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers the very day you get paid. When saving becomes your default, your behavior changes without needing an ounce of daily willpower. All right, Section 4. Where to put your money. Safety versus growth. So you've audited your life and have some freed up cash. But where exactly does it go so it grows safely and effectively? Financial educator Budget Dog gives us a total golden rule here, and it's all based on historical market data. If you need the money in under 5 years, say for a down payment on a house or a new car, keep it in a high-yield savings account. Why? Well, historically, the stock market has roughly a 26% chance of losing money in any given one-year period. You definitely don't want to risk your short-term goals on a coin toss. But for timelines over 5 years, you transition into investing in broad index funds, where historical data shows your probability of positive returns skyrockets to over 90%. If we assume an average US salary of around 64 grand, Nicole Lapin actually maps out this super aggressive 5-year timeline to hit the milestone. You start off just building the habit in year 1 with $500 a month. But as you ask for raises, optimize your side gigs, and ruthlessly cut waste, you escalate those contributions. By year 5, you're investing $2,100 a month. By combining your escalating deposits with market growth, this specific roadmap snowballs you right up to that 6-figure mark. But hey, if a 5-year plan doesn't quite fit your vibe, Frankie Finance ran some alternative scenarios for us. Investing $1,000 a month gets you there in about 7 years. Pushing it to $2,000 a month gets you there in just 3.5 years. The math here is beautifully simple. The difference in your timeline isn't about luck, and it certainly isn't about being a financial genius. It's purely a measure of your intensity and just how hard you're willing to pull those levers. Finally, Section 5, defeating lifestyle creep, protect your wealth. We absolutely have to talk about how to protect this wealth once you start making it, because there's a psychological trap that ruins the math for so many people. The Economic Times warns us about the ultimate silent killer of wealth, lifestyle inflation, or lifestyle creep. As your salary goes up, it creates this illusion of financial stability. You feel richer, right? So you rent a nicer apartment, you lease a better car, you start buying expensive dinners. But if your spending rises to perfectly match your new income, your savings rate stays completely flat, and you remain permanently stuck on the financial treadmill. So how do you beat the trap? First, religiously track your expenses. Researchers have actually found that doing this naturally and subconsciously reduces impulse buying. You can also adopt a framework like the 50-30-20 rule to put some healthy boundaries on your wants. But the absolute golden rule here is this: increase your savings rate proportionally with every single raise. If you get a $500 a month raise, commit to saving at least $300 of it and let yourself enjoy the remaining $200. This ensures your life gets better today while your wealth rapidly accelerates for tomorrow. I want to leave you with this question to chew on today to challenge your financial habits. Look at your last raise. Did it buy you more stuff, or did it buy you more freedom? The first $100,000 is going to demand some serious sacrifice, but the math proves that the momentum waiting on the other side is absolutely worth it. Embrace the grind, pull those 3 levers, and go conquer that first 100 grand.